Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wa salatu wasalam ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, inshallah, we're continuing with Al-Muheet, the name of Allah, Al-Muheet. Al-Muheet is translated as the all-encompassing, coming from hata yahutu hawtan haytatan hayatatan fahuwa ha'itun, which means to guard, protect, watch over, or take care of something. It also means to surround, encircle, enclose, or encompass something. And then that's you could say the first pattern of that verb, and then the fourth pattern would be ahata yuhitu ihatatan fahuwa muhitun, which means to surround, encircle, enclose, encompass something, to build a perimeter, to understand something from every angle, to fully grasp and comprehend something from every dimension. So this is the idea, and it does seem to be, there's an emphasis on knowledge, as in encompassing in knowledge. That seems to be highlighted in a few places, like for example, the last verse of Surah Talaq. Allah Ta'ala says, وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ قَدْ أَحَاطَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عِلْمًا, and that Allah has encompassed all things in knowledge. The name of Allah Ta'ala, Al-Muheet, occurs 8 times in the Quran, and it seems like a whole lot of them are specifically describing the hypocrites. SubhanAllah, I guess an aspect of nifaq or hypocrisy is that you don't understand that Allah Ta'ala is the one who encompasses you from every angle. You feel like the pressure of, oh, these people are watching me, so I have to conform. Oh, now I'm in this circle of people, so I have to conform. Every time you're in a different circle, you feel like those people are watching you, those people are judging you, so you're always worried about them, and so you always conform, and that's what the hypocrite is. He's two-faced. Whereas the person who understands that Allah is Al-Muheet, He is the one who is encompassing you, watching you, and observing you, and can control your affairs in every way. When you have this, then inshallah ta'ala nifaq goes away. So you find that when Allah Ta'ala is describing the state of nifaq in Surah Baqarah, ayah number 19, Allah finishes the ayah by saying what? وَاللَّهُ مُحِيطٌ بِالْكَافِرِينَ. But Allah is encompassing of the disbelievers. Furthermore, in Surah Ali Imran, ayah number 120, Allah is describing the state of the hypocrites and finishes the ayah by saying what? إِنَّ اللَّهَ بِمَا يَعْمَلُونَ مُحِيطٌ. Indeed, Allah is encompassing of what they do. So again, you have these instances where Allah is describing the state of the hypocrites. Again, we have in Surah number 4, which is Surah Nisa, ayah number 108, describing the state of the hypocrites, and then finishing with وَكَانَ اللَّهُ بِمَا يَعْمَلُونَ مُحِيطًا, and Allah is ever of what they do encompassing. And furthermore, if you take a look at Surah Nisa, ayat 123 to 126, you find that the dialogue, the context is talking about how there are some hypocrites amongst the Muslims who think that, oh, my deeds don't matter, I have tamanni or wishful thinking, Allah's just going to forgive me no matter what I do, so I don't need to make any effort whatsoever. And Allah Ta'ala likens this to Ahl al-Kitab, some people from amongst the Jews and the Christians who have this idea that says that as long as I'm either Christian or Jewish, then I'm from like the chosen people, the special people, so I'm just going to go to heaven anyway. And Allah Ta'ala denies that, says no, you have to actually make your effort and be sincere. And then Allah says, وَكَانَ اللَّهُ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ مُحِيطًا. And Allah is, and ever is Allah of all things encompassing. So subhanAllah, oh yeah, and one last one is Allah Ta'ala describing and addressing the hypocrites who are showing off in battle. Instead of fighting for the sake of Allah, they're fighting for the sake of glory, which is another form of hypocrisy. This is mentioned in Surah Al-Anfal, which is Surah number 8, ayah number 47. And Allah Ta'ala finishes that ayah with وَاللَّهُ بِمَا يَعْمَلُونَ مُحِيطٌ. And Allah is encompassing of what they do. So subhanAllah, you have all these instances in which hypocrisy is being highlighted with this name of Allah, Al-Muheet. And again, you can see the correlation that the true believer knows that it's Allah who's watching me. It's Allah Ta'ala who is encompassing me from every angle and can control my affairs in their entirety, from the future and what happened in the past and everything. SubhanAllah, my finances, my education, my knowledge, my relationships with my family. Instead of the hypocrite is the one who doesn't have this concept of Allah being Al-Muheet, and therefore he feels he's encompassed or being judged or being watched by humanity, and therefore he's always adjusting himself to fit in with his peers and changing according to his environment. Hence he is Dhul Wajhain, two-faced. The other contexts in which this name of Allah occurs is when the people of Shu'aib alayhi salam told him that the only reason they don't kill him is because of his family. They say, we would kill you because you're preaching this religion that we are offended by, but you're from a noble family, so we won't kill you. That's mentioned in Surah Hud, ayah number 91, and then in ayah number 92, The response is, Inna Rabbi bima ta'maluna muheet, that he said to his people, "O my people, is my family more respected for power by you than Allah? But you put him behind your backs, as in neglect. Indeed, my Lord is encompassing of what you do." These are the words of Shu'aib alayhi salam. Furthermore, Allah Ta'ala, when addressing the disbelievers who deny accountability, say what? أَلَا إِنَّهُمْ فِي مِرْيَةٍ مِّن لِقَاءِ رَبِّهِمْ أَلَا إِنَّهُ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ مُحِيطٌ. Unquestionably, they are in doubt about the meeting with their Lord. Unquestionably, He is of all things encompassing. He is muhit, of everything. And furthermore, addressing the genocidal disbelievers, such as Fir'aun and Thamud and Ashab al-Ukhdud, Allah Ta'ala says what? وَاللَّهُ مِن وَرَائِهِمْ مُحِيطٌ. While Allah is encompassing them from behind. Allah Ta'ala encompasses everything they do, all these genocidal maniacs who have done all sorts of atrocities throughout time. Allah Ta'ala encompasses everything they do, and they will stand before Him. And furthermore, the word muhit is also used one time to describe Judgment Day, when Allah Ta'ala says what? وَإِنِّي أَخَافُ عَلَيْكُمْ عَذَابَ يَوْمٍ مُحِيطٍ. But indeed, I fear for you the punishment of an all-encompassing day. So this word muhit is being used to describe Judgment Day itself, not the name of Allah, not as the name of Allah. And so yes, what is a very interesting, if you take a look at all these different contexts, what you find is that this word muhit is mentioned 9 times. One time, as we mentioned, talking about Judgment Day. 5 times describing and addressing the hypocrites who hide their true intent. Twice addressing the people of Shu'aib who were concealing their transactions. Once for the disbelievers who think that their deeds are hidden because they do their actions, then they die, and there is no Judgment Day. There is no bringing back their deeds. Once it's all gone, it's done. It's never going to go away. And once for the tyrants who think that they can kill people and their criminals and their crimes will be hidden forever in these mass graves. That doesn't matter how much genocide I do, it's all just going to go away. So subhanAllah, hope you notice that each and every one of these contexts has something to do with that which is hidden. So subhanAllah, there's something very remarkable about that, and Allah Ta'ala is saying, no, I encompass all knowledge, you can't get away from me. This is why As-Sa'di says that Al-Muheet implies Allah is encompassing in all things of, number 1, Al-Ilm, His knowledge, number 2, Al-Qudra, His power, and number 3, His Rahmah, His mercy. However, given the context of all the ayat, I didn't see any particular mention of Rahmah. So I question whether Al-Muheet, this name of Allah, is really highlighting mercy or not. It's definitely highlighting that Allah encompasses everything, but I think it would be more reasonable to say that actually the name of Allah that describes encompassing everything with mercy is Al-Wasi'. And let me tell you why I have that hypothesis. I believe I've mentioned this before when we covered the name of Allah, Al-Wasi'. But if we haven't yet, then I'm not sure if we did. But anyway, that's okay. Either way, I'm going to mention it now, which is what? Both of these names of Allah, both of these words, just the word itself, Muheet and Wasi' occur 9 times. So already you see a parallel between them. They both show up 9 times in the Quran. Then when you get more specific, the word Muheet being used for the name of Allah is 8 times. And the name of Allah, Al-Wasi', specifically used for the name of Allah, is also 8 times. And the one exception for Muheet is about Judgment Day in a very scary context. And Wasi' also that one time is referring to Allah's mercy in a positive context. And so the 8 times that Muheet is used, it's used as a threat. And the 8 times that Wasi' is used for the name of Allah, it seems to be always something positive. And so the reason why these two are really quite remarkable is, number 1, because of the numerical precision and consistency in this Quran, number 1. But in addition to that, what I find fascinating is Muheet seems to be the one who is, you could say, the way I like to imagine it, and obviously وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى, but when you think of something encompassing something else, you can think of it as a perimeter closing in on you, and so that's kind of like a threat. Whereas Wasi' is more like a perimeter that is expanding outwards. It's a perimeter that just expands eternally. He is the expansive and wide in that sense. So both of them are expansive, but one of them is focused, yes, I'm expansive, but I'm closing in on you. And the other one is I'm expansive and it just keeps going out. One of them is a threat and the other one is highlighting mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the fact that they're correlated in terms of how many times they're mentioned in the Quran, I find truly remarkable. Both of these words mentioned 9 times, and then both specifically the name of Allah, 8 of those 9 times. SubhanAllah. Something truly remarkable, something to appreciate. So what is the effect that this name of Allah, Al-Muheet, should have? What type of effect should it have on the believer? Number 1, Tawheed. Only Allah's plan covers every detail. Only His plan will be carried out exactly. Everyone will plan, and sometimes you'll achieve your plans, and other times you won't, but ultimately Allah Ta'ala is the one who's in control. Every morning we all wake up, we all have a plan. Sometimes we achieve certain things, sometimes we don't, but Allah Ta'ala's plan is perfect, hence He is the only one to turn to, hence Tawheed. Also love. You are part of Allah's plan. He is Al-Muheet. He is the all-encompassing. And you're part of that plan. He encompasses everything, and you're part of it. He is your creator. You are His creation. So guidance came to you, and alhamdulillah, you should be grateful, and you should have this love for Allah Ta'ala. He is Al-Muheet. And furthermore, you should have also fear, because not a single sin goes unnoticed by Al-Muheet. He encompasses everything, as Allah says, وَأَحَاطَ بِمَا لَدَيْهِمْ وَأَحْصَى كُلَّ شَيْءٍ عَدَدًا. Allah mentions, and He has encompassed whatever is with them, and has enumerated all things in number. So whatever you do, whatever you say, think, etc., Allah is encompassing everything, and He's enumerating, and obviously all your deeds are being recorded. Now, we should remember that fear of Allah Ta'ala is going to save you, inshallah Ta'ala. It is from the what? Al-Munjiyat. Munjiyat means things that save you, the savers, if you will. The Prophet said what? وَأَمَّا الْمُنْجِيَاتِ, regarding these savers, these things that can save you, these savers, he mentioned three of them. Al-Adlu في الغضب والرضا والقصد في الفقر والغنى وخشية الله تعالى في السر والعلانية. The Prophet says that the three things that are going to save you are justice, when you're both angry and happy, moderation, whether you're in poverty or in wealth, and fear of Allah Ta'ala, both in private and in public. So if you can have these three things, justice, moderation, and fearing, in all contexts, whether your context changes from one way or the other, as long as you can maintain these three things, these are the things that will save you, inshaAllah Ta'ala. Furthermore, the Prophet ﷺ would make this dua when finishing a gathering. He would say, Allahumma qsim lana min khashyatika ma yahulu baynana wa bayna ma'asik. O Allah, apportion for us fear of you that will come between us and disobedience of you. And furthermore, the Prophet ﷺ would make the dua, wa as'aluka khashyataka fil ghaybi wa shahada. O Allah, I ask you for fear of you in secret and in public. And of course, we need to trust. The other effect, that knowing that Allah is Al-Muheet, we have trust in Allah's plan, because Allah Ta'ala's plan encompasses everything. And in fact, Allah says, وَإِن تَصْبِرُوا وَتَتَّقُوا لَا يَضُرُّكُمْ كَيْدُهُمْ شَيْئًا إِنَّ اللَّهَ بِمَا يَعْمَلُونَ مُحِيطٌ. Allah says, and if you are patient and fear Allah, their plot will not harm you at all. Indeed, Allah is encompassing of what they do. And the final point, inshallah ta'ala, is be balanced, right? If Allah Ta'ala encompasses everything, that means we should have a desire to be balanced, not just hyper focus on one thing and not something else. Allah Ta'ala encompasses everything. So we as believers, we need to also make sure we give everything its due right, and we are a little bit more broad in our scope. We cover our bases as fully as possible. As the Prophet ﷺ confirmed the words when he said, when it was mentioned to him, he confirmed this statement, إِنَّ لِرَبِّكَ عَلَيْكَ حَقًّا وَلِنَفْسِكَ عَلَيْكَ حَقًّا وَلِأَهْلِكَ عَلَيْكَ حَقًّا فَأَعْطِي كُلَّ ذِي حَقٍّ حَقَّهُ. Your Lord has rights over you, your soul has rights over you, your family has rights over you, so you should give the rights of all those who have rights on you. In other words, you want to make sure you do right by everybody in their correct portion. May Allah Ta'ala make us a people who understand the names of Allah, appreciate them, convey them, and make dua to Allah Ta'ala through these names. May Allah give us understanding that Allah Ta'ala is Al-Muheet, and ultimately not make us amongst the hypocrites. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Jazakallah khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.